This thing is smoking so much it looks like the pit from a Grateful Dead concert. Starting off here with overhangs. We've got a H2S 0.4mm nozzle, PLA, and a whack load of infill. This part looks great. Bambu continually puts out printers that just print well, you know, when they're not catching fire, card to all that if you're curious. But we've got the underside of this Gengar model that I'm sure they got legally, looking, according to the user, not so great. To me, honestly, that's not bad. H2S is a single nozzle 3D printer. It's not the H2D, it's not the H2C, it's the H2S. S for single. And because it is the H2S, you can only do one material. Now, yes, you could do the whole purge tower and deal with multi-material via single nozzle, but honestly, it's not worth it in my opinion, and quite frankly, Bambu does offer an upgrade path, I believe, from the H2S over to Vortec. If you want multi-material, just do that upgrade path. It's cheaper than buying another printer. We can see the underside doesn't look 100% great. I would say for most single nozzle 3D printers, that is more than acceptable. If you want to get it better, you have a couple of options, and they all come with a bit of risk. The first one is to reduce your Z offset distance. So Z offset distance is the amount of space between the end of your support and the beginning of your part. Generally, it's 0.1 to 0.3 millimeters on average. It can be larger, can be less. Your mileage may vary, of course. For Bambu, we find that 0.15 or 0.17 millimeters tends to get you right where you need to be. Now, we can see some other issues with this print too. It's a little hard to see, but down there, got some of the acne on his belly. Get rid of random seams. Most likely that is caused from random seams. It could be caused from retract on the layer change, which you don't need either. Don't worry about it, just keep going. That can be taken care of with a little bit of sandpaper. Now, the rest of this can also be taken care of with a bit of sandpaper and maybe a little bit of filling. But ultimately, it also comes down to the actual orientation that you're printing this thing. If you want the front of it to look the best, then you need to lean it, instead of with the face down, face back. You want the back side of it to not look good because that's not the side you're going to be looking at. This model does look like it can print reasonably support-free if you just stand it up on its feet, but not knowing the model and having it in my hands, not really able to give 100% guidance when it comes to orienting your models on the build plate. Traditionally for FDM or FFF 3D printing, we say reduce the amount of overhangs when at all possible. If you have to have support, try to put it in areas that you're not going to see it, or areas that are going to get covered, painted, whatever, later on down the road. If you do actually want to repair this part, Bondo Spot Fill Putty does a great job. Just wear gloves, do it outside. It's got a pungent smell to it. We've even seen people use UV resin, like for resin printers, mixed with talcum powder, aka cornstarch, because don't use real talc, it's cancerous, please. Of course, remember that resin is toxic, and we don't want to get that on our bare skin. Now, the thing with the resin, it will fill the holes. You can cure it very quickly with a UV light, or just, you know, move it out into the sun. That can help, but quite frankly, I would Bondo spot fill this, and it will go much easier, and you will deal with less of the imperfections that you might get from the resin coating. If you do go the resin coating route, make sure to leave it out in the sun for a while, let it really cure, then go ahead and sand it with something like a dual action sander, or get your Mr. Miyagi in check. You could call me the Mr. Miyagi of 3D printing, but my name is Grant. This is 3D Musketeers, PrintFixFriday, where we help you get your printers back to printing with purpose. And if you want help with your machines, you can reach out to us on all the social medias. Links are in that description down below. Next up, from our Patreon Discord, available at the $10 tier and higher. It's a more business class and business focused Discord, although we do have general chats and hangouts there as well. We've got user SACGR here with a Stratasys machine because they apparently hate themselves. We have put them on watch, don't worry. They are voluntarily buying up old, used Stratasys machines for pennies on the dollar, and they're, well, getting them to run again. For the most part, Now, the weird thing about these old Stratasys machines, this is a Dimension or it's a U-print. This is the nozzle. The nozzle shouldn't be there. The nozzle should be up there. You don't want the nozzle sitting next to your print. And apparently this thing actually continued to print a little bit, which tells you their nozzles are not all that great. In fact, these machines are not all that great. For those looking at this build plate saying, huh, that does look weird, you're right, because it's one-time use. At least according to Stratasys, it's one-time use. And it's a big, thick piece of plastic. It is ridiculous. But the cool thing with these machines is that they're fully insulated and they can have a heated chamber well above most heated chamber 3D printers on the market. This machine can rival the HT90 that we have running just a few feet that way, making some PCCF parts, and you can buy them for pennies on the dollar. The problem is that their slicer sucks. There's really no good way to crack them to run them on regular slicers unless you go a full brain transplant and replace the actual board for the machine. The filament is chipped, although they never did encrypt the chips, so you can refill the spools and rewrite the chips, but that's just one extra step that you have to do. And of course, if you don't want to do any of that, the material is so ungodly expensive, it doesn't make any sense to keep doing this. So, as we said before, they are on watch in our Discord just to make sure that they're mentally sane. Any of you that are still running these old Dimension or Uprint SE machines, I don't know, man. The idea for this is to keep your printers running and, you know, get them fixed, but you might be saying, Grant, why is there support on this Benchy anyways? Benchies don't need support. Well, too bad. You don't get to choose where support goes. It's automatically put in there for you. So if you don't like it, sucks to suck, homie. You're getting support on your part. Have fun getting rid of it. Although most of the time the support is actually soluble, so that's, you know, that's a benefit, but you are cleaning it in live, which isn't fun. Wear gloves. But anyways, what can you do to solve this? This is 100% a user error. The machine did not throw its nozzle out of the way. This is the nozzle not being properly seated. These are notoriously difficult nozzles to put in and out of the machines. It's not always obvious to know when it is properly tightened into the machine. And in this case, it printed pretty far and decently well until the nozzle itself fell out, and thankfully they caught it before it caused any damage because, oh my god, these replacement parts are expensive. Although I guess for a couple $100 you can just buy a completely separate machine and use it for parts too. Okay, so maybe parts aren't that expensive. They're just end-of-lifed. We'll go with that. But I guess my main question for you all is, why the heck would anybody still use this machine? They're so bad. They're so bad. Let me know in the comments below. They weren't good when they came out, and they're still not good to this day. I don't know, maybe smoke them if you got them. At least that's what this individual thought with this Ender 3 Pro that decided to smoke out the room worse than Snoop Dogg. As it goes in the industry, all electronics run on magic smoke. The magic smoke is not refillable, it is not replaceable, and you cannot fix it once it is out. This one's a lot of smoke. Something on this machine is getting very hot. I'm assuming it's the wires. Now we can see it's turned off and it's still smoking. So something on this is getting power when it shouldn't. Most likely they've connected some heater wires to the wrong area and it created this. Unfortunately, this machine is dead. Do not try to fix it. Do not try to repair it. Replace the parts. I don't care if the wires are burned. Replace the motherboard, replace the wires. I don't care. Unless you are a certified electrician and actually know what you're doing, please don't do this. You can make this way worse than where you can currently see it. So what likely happened here is that they forgot to check the voltage on the power supply, and they are apparently on 230 volts, and the machine was likely still set to 115, because that's pretty much the only way that I can see this happening. You need a new power supply. They should be relatively cheap, but I would check to make sure nothing else is burned. If it is just the power supply, you can get away without replacing the motherboard. You will easily be able to tell where the magic smoke came from. Smell for it. It is a very obvious smell. It'll be kind of obvious if your motherboard is also burned out. But this is a big deal. Here in the States, it's not as big of a deal because if you leave it on 230 and you plug it in, everything runs on half power, your screen will turn on, but nothing will heat up because it's not getting the appropriate voltage. I've done this before. When you're in 230 volt countries and it's set to 115 volt, things get spicy and you damage parts. Now, we hope that it is limited to the power supply, but it might also go to the motherboard, so check that as well. Have you guys ever done this before? I know I've done it, but of course, we have lower voltage, so the damage is not catastrophic. It's actually, there's no damage at all. But if you're in a 230 volt country or 240 volt country, have you ever done this before? And if so, is it actually repairable? I would have hoped that a fuse would have caught this, but apparently not, I guess. Yeah, also, go ahead and clean your bed sheets. One, when was the last time you did that? But two, that smell permeates into fabric, and it will be there for a while. Unless that's your kind of smell, then hey, whatever, you do you. But I also don't think it's all that appropriate to have a 3D printer this close to what appears to be a bed. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. Next up, why is this banded color occurring? We've got someone who's printing a Big Ass Peep. And that Big Ass Peep is, yeah, not having a great time. We can see it is a Bambu A1. Please be careful with those A1s. If you don't have the updated AC power distribution board, please go and get it. We'll card to the latest video where we've covered this topic so you can take a look at it, but they are known for their NDC thermistors failing in a non-cascading way, creating potentially a hole in the case, burning your boards, and potentially causing internal fires. Thankfully, so far, it has not spread to anything else inside the machine or outside the machine, but I hope I'm wrong, but I feel like it's only a matter of time. We've got a little bit of Wiz Khalifa here, you know, to carry on the smoke theme, with some black and yellow. And the problem that we're running into is the black is not fully purged out when the yellow is being called for, leaving very slight but noticeable bands. You need to adjust your purge volumes. Going from any color to black, but especially black to a light color like yellow, white, whatever, you have to purge an ungodly amount of filament. Purge way more than you think. If you think you've purged enough, go ahead and purge a little bit more, another couple of % more just to be safe. In my opinion, paint this black later on. I want it painted black. You will save so much material, so much time, or separate the eyes and glue them in later. The only way to fix this now is to paint the entire thing. You can, you know, cover the eyes if you want, but you have to repaint the entire Big Ass Peep to get it to not look like this. You could also say, F it, it's close enough, which, given that we are so close to the Big Ass Peep holiday, you'll probably just do that instead. But it's all about your flushing volume. If you're not certain, you can run tests with this. Run a simple test that's only 5, 10, 15 layers thick that makes sure that your flushing volumes are correct. If you're flushing too much, that's fine. If you're not flushy enough, this is what happens. It is very common on machines that use a single nozzle but multi-color. In my opinion, yeah, I don't think I would do this. It's so simple to just paint the eye black afterwards, and it would save you so much time in purging and material cost alone. This is one of the few times where I can look at a multicolor print and say, yeah, it's just easier and cheaper to paint it afterwards. We know this isn't the first time it's happened here on the channel, and I know there are a lot of you out there that have struggled with it in the past. What have you done to help better tune your filament purge volumes? For us, we don't generally do multicolor printing, and if we do, we're almost always doing it on the XL, which is a tool changer, and we are excited for Index, because again, tool changer, or I guess in that case, nozzle changer, if we're being really technical, because you don't need to deal with crap like this. Last but not least, what's causing this? Let's take a look. That first layer looks like crap. Stop touching your bloody 3D printer beds. I'm serious. Your hands are greasy. Stop touching things. Hold your build plates like a vinyl record. And I know you might have to ask your parents what a vinyl record is, but I promise you, if you do it that way, it'll work a lot better. And clean your effing build plates. Gosh, that is literally just from a dirty build plate. And the reason that we can determine this is because when we look farther out, it looks fine down here. And it's not consistently failing. It is failing in random areas. As far as I can tell, this is simply just a dirty build plate. Clean it. If you are trying to print on the cheap, Windex is simple, it's cheap, or any ammonia-based glass cleaner. If you want to go to the nth degree, make sure that build plate is really effing Clean. Our friends over at Construct 3D just launched their All Clean product. And if you listen to the previous week's podcast, which we'll card to so you can take a gander, there is a special coupon code in there that gives you some money off the product. It is a special 2-part solution that, in our experience of using it, is the best bed cleaner we have ever used. If you want to make sure that your build plate is perfectly clean, get the All Clean. It's certified vegan and halal, if that matters to you, I guess. What matters to us are the awesome names listed right next to me at the $5 tier and higher. Thank you for what you all do in making videos like this possible. If you do want to help out in making content like this, you can join for as little as $1 a month and get behind-the-scenes access to lots of extra videos, extra content, and things that don't always make it into the final cuts of these videos. And at the $10 tier and higher, you can come hang out in our private Discord server. And hey, while you're down there, don't forget to leave a like and get subscribed, but stay safe out there. Don't forget to call your loved ones. And as always, keep making awesome. Have a good one.